Welcome to the Sunblood Network home, where you can be taught the technology of your body and mind. Yeah, here, right? This is your host, General Y. Got signing on. And with that one, another great one. So, right, I was one day having a conversation with someone, right? And in this conversation, the individual that I was having a conversation with, we was actually at a class, right? I'll show you the proof though, right? So I was at this, I ain't gonna show you this part, but I was right here, right? Show you how NPCs work. Anyways, you see that right there? My phone acting stupid. But anyways, I was at a cooking class, right? Now, I only came to this cooking class for one thing. What I came there to get was food handler certificate of completion. This is to clarify, what I have completed. Now, the certificate runs for about a good 3 years. I had the certificate number, I got all that. What I started to realize in that moment was, this is the certificate that I needed for my food truck, right? That's one of the things I'm pursuing, right? So, I remember going through this whole situation. There was this girl, this shit was funny as hell. It was this girl, right? And she was in the class with me. And they all asked questions. They all had asked questions or whatever the case may be, right? And it was asking us questions that are like this. It was like, why did everybody come here, right? This shit was funny as hell. I was the only son, right? And everybody else were daughters. Okay? Now, it had explained the demographics of how people's consciousness move, how we think, all that, right? Now, I was sitting there, I was like, why am I the only son that's in here? And I'm around a whole bunch of daughters, right? Now, the thing was, in this situation, I was like, this got to be set here for a certain reason, right? And I was like, I'll figure out what it is. It'll naturally just come to me, right? Now, I remember it was this one girl, and everything that we do comes down to memory, everything that we do. But it was this one girl, she came in, and it didn't seem like how things was really playing. It seemed to be a little bit more deeper, and I had figured out what was really going on. So it was this one girl, she came in, right? And when she came in, she pretty much like was explaining herself, like her background, where she come from, stuff like that. And she kept saying this over and over and repeatedly over and over. And you got to be careful when someone repeatedly tell you something, because it can come down to like programming. It's just like the comment section, right? When you look at the comment section, none of those comments hold any substance. It's more like, I just want some attention from you. That's NPC talk, just being honest. That's not a real character, right? So what I started understanding in that situation was, she kept programming herself repeatedly to believe that she was a black woman. And I'm like, this the thing. We in a cooking class, right? Your identity has nothing to do with the knowing how I should cook food, how I should present it to my customers. That's by the wayside. Don't nobody care about that. Everybody came here to this cooking class to gain a skill. Thank you. So why is she talking about where she come from? Now, when I was sitting there, I was like, what happened if The dream was more about you remembering, right, an individual from the past. Because just being honest, I don't want to remember the consciousness of being black. Every day, I more download the consciousness of my internal self. I don't download a consciousness that was created by another group of people, because if I do that, guess what? I'm not the conscious of myself. So when she kept saying that, it was like a total like turn off for me. It was like I didn't want to hear nothing she said. I didn't want to remember her at all. Like I just did not. I was just more like, I'm gonna walk out the classroom, let her talk to herself, and then after I used the restroom, or whatever the case may be, while I was acting like I was using the restroom, because I didn't want to remember anything that she was saying, because everything that she say comes down to memory. I don't want to remember none of that shit. What I wanted to know was skill. I came to this class for a skill. I didn't come to this class to get to know the black consciousness. And that's what I started to realize. I was like, why is it that I'm surrounded around all black daughters? Why didn't they not put other daughters inside of here? Thank you. That's what I had noticed too. And then what I also noticed in that situation that was really funny is that I was like, these is not my like sisters. This is not something that I would say would be my sister. Like, your conscious is designed from somewhere else. So I don't want to learn from people or be around a bunch of people that's controlled by someone creating a conscious and handing it down. That's a hand-me-down. You understand? So I'm sitting there, wherever the case may be, and I decided to do something so I can understand something. One of the girls that was there, I don't remember her name because it's nothing really to remember too much. But one of the girls that was there, right, I was paying attention to her for a reason, because it was certain things she was doing. So she would have this persona, like, it was very funny to me. She had this persona like, I'm classy, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna see if it's really classy though. You know what I'm saying? Because this could be a facade, right? So what happened is I wanted to see if she was really classy, right? So what happened is I was sitting there fake flirting with her just to see how she would operate. That's it, right? I'm not really flirting with you. Like, I'm fake flirting with you to see what's in your mind frame. That's it. So I'm over here playing, or whatever the case may be. And I noticed that every time I would come in the classroom, she always had her eye on me, right? I had understood that. I got it. So then after that, I wanted to see what her consciousness was about. Thank you. So this is when the movie Michael Jackson had just came out, the new one that just recently came out. So I wanted to see, if you classy, you going to listen to classic music. You going to vibe a different type of way, a different type of beat. You understand what I'm saying? A classy girl is into classy things. That's what she into. So I asked her a classy question. I said, yo, you want to go see the movie Michael Jackson? And she was like, no. I was like, why not? She was like, oh, because I don't want to see Michael. The thing about that was I had decoded her language. I said, it's not about you seeing Michael. You could never see Michael. That's the thing. Even if he was in front of you, you wouldn't know what Michael are. You wouldn't know a Michael at all. You just wouldn't. Furthermore, I had told her, I said, it's not about you seeing Michael. It's about you remembering him. Your mind is not able to remember Michael. You choose not to remember Michael. And I understand that. But right then and there, with my setup, I understand that consciously, she is not classy. It got it a little bit more further, because I asked further questions, and then she was like, oh, I got a boyfriend. Now, this is the thing. If you got a boyfriend, right, and I'm able to flirt with you, right, that means that that's really not your boyfriend. That means that you putting on a facade. Thank you. And this is the thing. If I could show her boyfriend how she was acting around me, even her boyfriend would simply say, Yeah, you putting on a facade, but you flirting with him and everything. So how could anyone believe you as a woman that you classy, right? That you loyal towards your man if another one that's way more high tech than your dude can flirt with you, be in your conscious too as well, say different things, and you just fall in love with the shit. Facades are fake. The thing is, I'm just smart enough to get past your facade to see if you actually are classy. But you're not classy. I get it. It's just a facade. I get it, baby. This shit was funny as hell. Long story short, went inside my binder or whatever the case may be, right? As I went inside my binder, I was like, this is the certificate that I need to get my food truck? Like, yeah, that's all you needed. I'm like, so I didn't have to do the whole class? Nah, as long as you got that, you good. So in order to get that, I had to pass a certain test that I'm looking at right now that I actually passed. Yep, I scored a 80%. I did real well for myself. So, right, I said that to say this. It is funny how consciousness can reveal a whole nother conscious. It is very funny. Another thing I want to say to the men in the comments is that you guys got to stop really tearing yourselves down. Yeah, like the comments that y'all putting in the comment section, it is letting me know that a lot of men, they have like fragile consciences. And what I mean by fragile, as in you could damage a man and all the damage that's in his mind go to his memory bank. His memory bank, right, is destroyed. But the only reason why it's destroyed is based on the memories that he want to hold. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all, man, I actually thank y'all for holding on to the memories of being destroyed because it let me know these are the memories that I shouldn't hold. You understand? So men to me are very weak. They really are, because you can give them an experience, destroy them in the experience, and they will hold on to the experience of self-destruction. And then think there's something by forecasting that experience onto the next individual. I always tell men all the time, right? I have nothing to do with y'all either. I'm not a man. A lot of y'all should get some counseling to figure out what y'all are and why you're upon the earth. Because this is what I will say. Women that have came in your life to destroy you, she's pretty much the winner in your life. Yeah, she is. And has way more psychological control over you, even though she's not with you. That's brazen. So, right, showing me what you are or what you become underneath the rulership of a woman, it's just like, I see this all the time. You will have sons, right, where, how can I say this in simple terms? They really are designed by their mothers. Like you see the new artificial suns that's out there that's not illuminated, where they wear like bonnets, stuff like that. You ever seen that before? That's not a man. That's a man that got converted into a woman consciously. Thinking, why would you wear a bonnet on your head? That makes no sense at all. You understand? It's just like the person down there, right? They want some attention. I'm gonna give them some attention. That way you can understand intelligence is way better than man. Watch. The man says to me, you are an ape. Watch. Pay attention. Granted, right? But the ape doesn't burn in sunlight. But the person that's using the ape word burns in sunlight. Do you see what I'm saying? So men are not intelligent. They're really unintelligent beings. Think, you're picking on something that has an eternal tie towards the sun. Man doesn't have an eternal tie towards the sun. The ape is actually better than man. The skin does not burn in sunlight, but man's skin burns in sunlight. I had told you, don't follow the ways of man, because man is unintelligent amongst himself. You understand that? Man will hate upon everything that does not identify as him. Do you understand that? For women, I need you to do me a favor. Get to destroying these men a lot more, please. Yeah, I'm not looking at you like you're doing anything wrong, because you can't do it to me. But a lot of you women should focus on destroying a lot of men. And the reason why I call for you to do that is because, for some odd reason, men think it is okay to be a destroyer towards himself. Has nothing to do with me at all. Okay? That is your handler. That is your maker. Follow her. See where you get it. Shit is brazy, 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 brazy. And this the main reason why I don't hang around men. I don't do that. Man has a problem of hating himself. Got it? Okay? And then, I'm gonna just be honest with you. A lot of men minds have been destroyed. So the thing is, with a lot of men that they reveal about themselves, you see the G word down there? Pay attention, that way you can understand men are not smart. They're dumb creatures. Watch. I'm not a man, by the way, just to let you know that. I don't identify as a word. Okay, thank you. So what you gotta understand is just let that statement fuck your mind up, okay? I know what your mind thinking. Okay? All right. So let me show you something. When it comes to a man, right? What is a man? What is that? Now go to a man and ask him, what are you? He's gonna tell you he's a man. Does that give you the proper identity of who he is in the inside though? See, let me show you what you can do to man conscious. You can go to a man conscious and say, you are a man. Understand what I just did to him. I just called him a word. Thank you. That I just generated from my conscious and made up. But he's a follower to it. So how is he the follower of his internal self if I can create a word, put it in front of him, and he follow it? How are you going to find yourself if you follow a word? Isn't it funny what you can do to man? But man thought he was more intelligent than God. You do know that, right? Man is ignorant to himself. Do you see what I'm saying? So I can create many words, right, around him, and his consciousness will only follow the word. How are you going to know yourself if I make a word for you and you're to follow it to a word? That's the proper way of getting to know yourself? I mean, shit, thank you for letting me know that, but that's not something I would follow. That's why I don't follow man in man ways, because he follow a word that's not within him when he was born. Right. That word was downloaded within him when he was a child, which means it's a part of his consciousness and a construct of his consciousness, like manipulation. So let me ask you a question. Is it that man's conscious is designed to be manipulated? Think about it. How are you going to find yourself if you follow everything on the outside? Your DNA is in the inside. Your chromosome system is in the inside. So I can make man, right, follow information and data on the outside of himself. Is that something that I should follow? No, I would never follow that. I would just use that system to manipulate him. That's it. That's why I love women, because women have more psychological control over a man. She knows what I know. She couldn't psychologically control me because she like, he's outside of the third dimensional information and data, so I can't control him. I can't. I can't create an illusion in front of him and he follow it. He like, that's an illusion. That's not real. You understand that? Good day. Now I'm gonna show you something else that man is totally unaware of with himself. I'm gonna show you. Man has a bad time of holding on to a word called, it's the G word. I'm not gonna say the word because I don't hold a memory of it. Right, I'm just doing research on it. So man, he has a memory bank, right? The things that he speak, right, is all coming from here first and then coming out here secondly. And I notice a lot of men in the comment section, right, they hold the G word in their mind, right? Now, if he hold a G word in his mind, what type of memories are he holding in his own mind? Now, what you're doing is this. You're projecting a word, right? But all words have an action behind it. So what you got to look at man is this. The word that he projecting comes down to what? Actions. So what you got to ask man is this. Those the actions that you hold in your mind? See, man expose himself the minute he come outside. See what I'm saying? So you got to be women, you got to be very careful. If you hear your man keep repeatedly G word, G word, G word, G word, you might want to ask him like, so you hold the actions of G words? So you've been playing around with G words. Women, make sure you're using protection with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are very undercover, but it's not undercover once you expose the cover that they're in. Do you understand that? Be very careful, okay? Because a lot of these guys is exposing on the internet that they're playing behind other guys, okay? Shit is sad. Shit is very sad what happened to man. You got to be very careful. You come see me, you like, nah, he don't hold that. He's using it as intelligence. Thank you. My programming is set. So that's why I call it a G word. I don't hold the word in my mind. Hell no. I'm just looking at what's in his mind. You understand? Notice that he can't program me. You understand that? Understand he can't even understand with his own conscious. He's holding on to a G word. Right. That's our identity. So if he holds on to that G word, right, and you look at it as a real identity, then what he's telling you is what he identified with. You understand that? You got to be very careful out here, women. Be very careful, baby. Be very careful. Me personally, the only thing I focus on is what's within me, which is connection, okay? Connection means what is connected within me, what makes me, what designs, you understand? So when it comes down to the chromosome system, man is not a follower towards what's within. He doesn't identify as the X and Y chromosome. See what I'm saying? So he's a loser towards himself. You understand what I'm saying? So the G word was created, right? But the G word that's in his mind is what he follows. See, you got to be careful out here in these streets, all right? If you ever hear your man talking about G word, G word, G word, that's what he identify as, okay? You got to be very careful, baby, okay? You don't want to be playing with stuff like that, all right? Because now he's not keeping it up front with you that he play with G words. Do you see what I'm saying? The G word, once you step past the G word, you want to know, like, what type of actions do he hold in his mind? Thank you. Because he could be telling you something and you just like, oh, he just playing around. Baby, every word come with an action. Don't he identify as a man, right? That's not the proper identification system. But man comes with an action, don't he? All right. So you got to be very careful with these men, okay? A lot of G words. See that in the comment section? Now, they could be trolling, right? But I just exposed the troll within them. You got it? All right. Shit is brazy tech up out here on the scene, blood. You all right? No, they're going to be all right. Now, another thing is this. A lot of the men, right? You got to understand something else, too. Have you ever seen a man, right, try to psychologically dominate another man? Would that be part of the G word? I'm just exposing for what he is. If you notice in the comment section, right, we're within what? Communication, right? But communication has something to do with being psychological too. Let me ask you a question. Why doesn't he psychologically dominate you? Why is it that he wants to psychologically dominate a so-called man? That don't have nothing to do with the G word, baby? I'm just exposing him for what he is. Remember, you said he is a G word. Right, but I'm just exposing the G word that's in his mind with the action. You understand that? So he has lost completely control of himself. He looks at it as, I'm supposed to psychologically dominate another guy. That ain't got nothing to do with being a G word? Wow. Now, before you dominate the body first, you have to dominate the mind first. Thank you. See that? Now, let's pay attention, baby, real quick. When you in a bedroom with the man, right? And let's just say you're having how can I say this in simple terms to keep it professional? A sexual experience, right? Now, when he penetrating you from the back, right? That's you being dominated. But in a sexual way, right? That's what he's supposed to do to you. That's what's supposed to happen naturally. But for some odd reason, he thinks that what he's doing to you is what he should do to another man. Be careful, baby. Be very careful. Okay? Yeah. Oh, man, you don't have to stop in the comment section. For some reason, every time I pop out with intelligence, he's backing off like, never mind. Oh, shit. What did I get myself in? Ooh. Whoops-a-daisy, right? I know, baby. I'm going to keep exposing your man for who he is, okay? I'm going to show you that your man is not what he think he is, okay? I'm going to show you something else. You know the gym, right? The weightlifting gym. I'm going to show you something. Now, when you in the gym, right? This is all the men, for the men. You, when you're lifting weights, right? The man is programmed to believe that what's lifting weights is my arms, my legs, my body. No, sir. The technology of the mind is what controls the body. The mind is the builder to the body. But the man is stuck in a third dimensional construct of consciousness to believe that my arms is building my body. Without the mind, the body doesn't move. Without the mind, there's no memory. Without the mind, you can't program. Without the mind, you can't understand anything. So I would say as a woman that has psychologically dominated him and you now have bent him to your will, you did a good job, woman. You think I'm being sarcastic, right, baby? No, I'm telling you that, in other words, you know more about him than he actually knows about himself. That's what I'm showing you. That's why you're able to dominate him psychologically, because he follows everything that you taught him. You taught him how to be outside himself. And based on your false creation, right, it shows me what not to become. You understand? What happens with man in the comment section, he's starting to realize consciously we're two different things. And usually if you don't identify as a man, he shows you in the comment section, he hates upon himself. It's not that he hates me. Remember, the hate that he's spilling, right, is on an emotionless device. The man is emotionally connected to the emotionless device in order to expose all his emotions on a motionless device. Do you see that? So how is his emotions actually real if he's exposing his emotion on a motionless device? It was great that you made him into a robot because he connected robots and expressed through a robot. You thought you was dating something real, right? How is that real? That's real, baby? That's real. Now, what I just said to him hit his conscience and he stopped, right? Man, reprogram your comments. Thank you. You see how it went back into play? Okay. He has no self-control over himself. Do you understand that? But the way you design him, right, in your creation, this is what you created. You think I would follow that? No. Baby, they begging you to, baby, they down there in the comment sections like, please, can you read the comments? Please? As a man, right, he's begging. He's a beggar now? Whoa. Whoa, baby. I see why you do him the way you do him. Now I see why you cheat on him. I see why you fuck other motherfuckers. And baby, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even look at you like you wrong. You think I'm being sarcastic, don't you? No, every time you fuck somebody, it's usually better than him. I see why you do what you do. I'm not here to like judge you and shit. We'll get to that later. But just understanding why you move the way you move. Yeah, I see why you do what you do, though. I see. You think I'm being sarcastic, don't you? Girl, it's gonna be okay. Let's see what man, right, I'm gonna give man some attention real quick because man is seeking attention from me. You don't find that a little strange, baby? You don't find that a little strange? Now I'm gonna say this: when you out and about in the world, I'm looking at it like, what type of attention we can have together? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The reason why that is because it is. When it comes to me, right? I'm looking at what connects us together. Okay. Now for you, I understand your intelligence where you call yourself a woman. Granted. But then I step past the word that you are selling me, right? And I pay attention to what's inside of you so I can know you. Okay? You can't fool me with that. All right? But you can fool him with that. That way he can remain in the third dimension. Okay? What I understand what's within you that brings in the connection with myself, right, is this. You are a double X chromosome. That's what you are in the inside. But I can keep your mind trapped based upon selling you an illusion and call yourself you a woman. I did that. You can follow. But how would you know yourself in the inside? Baby, I'm starting to believe that man lied to you. Yeah, I'm starting to understand. It seems like man has lied to you. Maybe that's the reason why you cheated on him in the beginning of Adam and Eve. Is that the reason why you cheated on him? Because he's a lie to himself? I mean, man did rewrite the Bible, right? Now, you see all the jokes? Yeah. Consciously, the last upgrade that man has received is in high school. So he's stuck in high school. But if you notice with my intelligence, it surpasses high school. How is it high school, baby, if the conscious is designed to be low school? Man, get back to hating me. That's his only job. Is that the reason why you had, that you cheated on him in the Bible? Because he was a lie to himself? If he was smart enough, right, when you supposedly gave him an apple, right, you told him, pay attention to his technology, you told him that it was a fruit or maybe an apple. That's a word. But his consciousness obeyed. So you start to realize consciously he obeys a word, not the information and data that's inside of the fruits. So that's how you're able to trick him, right? No, I'm just interested in your skill set because it work on him. Man, load up in that comment section real quick. You gotta hate me. That's what you were designed to do. Now he had said, let's go into his comments right here. He said, she bit the forbidden fruit. Pay attention to man's consciousness. I'm not picking on him. But he follows a word. What is within the fruit that's forbidden? You see how I'm surpassing his word and going with information that's inside of the apple. Now, pay attention. I'm asking man a question. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight, because I'm not coming at you. I just want to highlight something real quick. He said she bit the forbidden fruit. Okay. Granted, what is the information and data that's inside of the fruit that's forbidden? Do you see how you see how I'm going past his information? I'm waiting for man to reply. I don't want to be rude or nasty towards him. Go ahead. Slow. Watch this. He said men that follow a woman's logic will lose their strength. Slow down. Pay attention. Who is the one that presented the information data that's inside the fruit? Who presented it first? You would say Eve. Pay attention. The minute she gave him the so-called apple or fruit, right, what happened? He started to follow her. You know how I know? Because she gave to him, right? He never questioned, where did you receive this information and data from? You're supposed to do this. Whenever she, right, comes to you with something, understand that you are the higher conscious. So you have to investigate what her conscious is doing in order to know what's in front of you. Pay attention to the setup. Watch. A woman can come to a man, right? And if he doesn't know himself, you can manipulate him based on words and what you give his consciousness. Communication. Pay attention. You walk up to the man, you tell him a lie, right? You already know that. But then you want to see if you can use the lie to bend his mind to your will. Do you see what I'm saying? No, you intelligent. I'm just showing you what you are doing and how he's able to be manipulated. I'm not saying you're doing something wrong because it's able to be worked. You understand? If a woman came up to me and she told me something, the first thing I'm going to do is investigate within question. I'm going to question the reason why. I want to get to the truth. He don't have that skill set. You tell him what to do and he follows. So how is he the leader? How is he supposed to lead you when he don't even investigate what you do? But you're a smart girl. You're way more psychological than him. I'll give you that. For now. I'll give you that. Stop. You cannot me show you this. Hold on. Come here. No. Stop. Now he's trying to go around. Pay attention. Let me show you something. Now, what he's doing is what you do. I can expect you as a woman to not accept accountability. I can expect that. The reason why I say that is not to be sarcastic to you. It's to show you you have to be taught that so you can know the balance within it. Now, watch what he's doing. He's mimicking what you do. Pay attention. He says the snake, right? Devil convinced her and him. Pay attention to the setup in front of you, right? The man has a conscience, right? Where someone can try to convince you or manipulate you. But pay attention to what I said to you. The conscience has to accept in order for it to work. So he's not accountable to himself to understand the intelligence of himself of, hold on, you told me this, right? Let me go investigate this, do further research in order to know if this is actually accurate. Do you see? So I can use words and he follows. He's unaccountable. Do you understand that? So I like him the way he is because he doesn't seek accountability within him. He only seeks being what? Manipulated. You understand? That's how his conscience work. Thank you, sir. I'm not being sarcastic to you, just bringing some intelligence to you. That's all. This water is good. I gotta go get me some more. Give me just a second. Let's see what's else inside of there. Now, here go his next comment right here, right? He says, it was bad on men, but that's why we should not allow it. So he's aware in this present moment that he allows you to manipulate him. You know what that is, right? He will accept manipulation in order to get access to what's between your legs. He doesn't value his own consciousness. He will accept manipulation based upon what's between your legs. I'm showing you your skill set. I just know about it, okay? I'm just showing you how you can work it with him. Well, let me say this. Let's go over here. He says, gotcha. Women manipulate. I agree 100%. Pay attention. If his conscience did not accept being manipulated, would the reality of manipulation be within reality? I'm gonna say it one more time so you can catch it. You have manipulation, manipulated, right? If his consciousness did not agree to follow the manipulation that you gave him, right, would this be in reality? What she understands with his conscience, The things that I feed him, right, he empowers it with his own power based on what? Conscious belief system. Now back it with action. I'm just showing you what you can do to him. That's it. Slow. Now watch this. Pay attention. He said I didn't. Adam did. Right? Pay attention. What is the word Adam seen in front of you? I'm using his intelligence real quick. Watch. In the third dimensional, right, he believed that Adam is a name. Watch. AD stands for what? Add. AM stands for what? Am. AD stands for what? Add. And then after that, you have AM. Is it add, I am? Is it the things that you manipulated his consciousness with? It's all the adds that you added within his mind in order for him to be in a reality of where you want him at. He can't understand that yet. Let's see what happens. Slow down. Watch. Here you go. I'm showing you things. Pay attention. And his consciousness, he said, of course, manipulation is this. That is Satan's best move. Slow down. Pay attention. The only two individuals that are there, right, is Adam and Eve. That's it. She may have been taught how to do it, but he is the one that accepts and back it. No accountability. That's what you can use in order to make him obey you. He's not going to say, it's my fault for accepting manipulation within my consciousness. He's always going to do what you do. You know what that is, right? I don't expect you to be accountable. I don't. He is the leader to himself. He is the one that sets things within reality. So what I'm showing you is that he has no accountability. He will run upon the earth and blame everyone else. But pay attention. His consciousness is here. You manipulate it with what? Conversation. Conversation. You're conning the technology of his mind, converting it to your will, and leave it in the sensation of what you want it to be. But pay attention. That is what he accepts. You make sure you choose a man that doesn't have accountability to himself in order to use him. Let's see what kicks back. House said, they are not ready for the technology, Chief. We understand together, Chief. Nice view you again, bruh. You be coming with some intelligence. Pay attention. The breath of life is... Oh. Someone put Thoth in there. You understand that Thoth is the one that knows, right, all about technology, including the mind and the brain. He has many names, though. Thank you. All right. Let's see what happens. No. Come here. Pay attention. Okay. You may... Pay attention. He said yes. He effed up by, right? Do we allow it to happen after learning it was a bad thing? Setups. Watch. How could you, right, understand, or most popular pick, understand, right, what manipulation is, right, when the information and data that was given to him blocks the pineal gland, now blocks the right side of his brain, and he's only left with the left side of his mind. How could you understand what manipulation is if you're not connected to yourself? If you want further clarity, just ask, and I'll give you further clarity. Now, the woman, right? Watch this. She understands what she just said. She said, laugh out loud. Exactly. All fairy tales. So she understands I can give you a fairy tale and you follow. That's why I'm using it. You can't get mad at her because she's looking at it like you accept it. She understands that. Those are laws that she understands. Like, just because I feed you a lie, it doesn't mean that you got to follow it. That's your decision. That's your choice. That's your free will. She knows that. But pay attention. If she's able to do that, right, is it really that Adam is within his world? Or is it that the technology, his consciousness has been recalibrated towards her will, and now he's in the world with her? I'm showing you how you can use them. That's it. Anything else? Anything else? Let me know. I'm here to help the both sides of you. But I want to let you know, right? The manipulation that you put him underneath, how can he escape it? I'll show you something about man and how he's still thinking about a snake manipulate him when I'm looking at the conscious that's in front of him manipulate him. Pay attention. One time, right? I was at a certain job that you would say, but always understand a job comes with an experience, and you should be focused on the experience that you can gain. That way your conscious can update. Thank you. What happens in this situation is simply this. Pay attention. When it comes to women, I understand something within her, that she likes to be connected to all minds. Another thing that could be is that she maybe want to control all minds, which is a great skill set. I don't disagree with you. That is your own free will. You understand? Now, what I also understand is this. Before she came into work, which was at 7 a.m., right? There was this black male. That's what you would call him. That's what he accepts. I understand. I said to him, hey, those sneakers you have on are very nice. Right. Where did you get those from? He told me where he got them from. I said, thank you. I told him, have a nice day. Now, the rapport that I just built in his mind is that I complimented him on his sneakers. I asked him where he got them from. Right. And then after that, I told him, have a nice day, which means that our interaction was great, right? But I wanted to see if I could basically watch you manipulate his conscious and turn his conscious from the good interaction that we had into a bad interaction. You're a lot more psychological than him. You are, for a certain reason, for right now. So, no disrespect, but this is what she is based on what she told me. A black woman comes in, right? I can read energy very well. Okay? When I read your energy lets me know, should I connect with you or should I not? That's the way I say stay safe within my consciousness. Okay? It's a skill set that he doesn't have yet. Okay? When the black woman comes in, she says to me, good morning. Pay attention. I need to see, right, if she operates in control minutes. Pay attention. Revealance. What happens is I say nothing back. What I wanted to see is that does her conscious expect or assumes that I should communicate back? Because if you expect and you assume that I should communicate back, it lets me know you operate in controlment. If you are free-willed or free-minded, you understand with yourself, he has all power and control over his own conscious. He doesn't have to say anything back. But the minute I didn't say anything back, her consciousness grew into madness. She became upset. Now, being that she became upset, that's her own right. I don't want to control that. I just want to understand it. It angered her that I did not communicate with her. Or did it anger her that she said something? Right. and I did not accept her connection. If you are here to be peaceful, what's the point in getting upset? If you're not operating in controlment, why would you want to control my reply? Put the shoe on the other foot. Let's just say I come up to you and I say to you, good morning. Right. And you do the same thing I do. Guess what happens? You revealed everything about my character. He's operating in controlment. I want to say nothing to him. That's the energy that I read off of you. I'm just allowing the action to play out for the left side of the mind to know. Pay attention to the setup. What she has to do, and she understands, I'm not in control of his consciousness. So what I need to do is I need to create a problem. Once I create the problem, I want someone to follow it. Pay attention. She goes back to the same guy that I told that his shoes was nice. Pay attention. She says to the guy, pretty much, he's rude, he's nasty. I'm watching him to see if he's going to accept. I'm rude, I'm nasty, because I did not allow her conscious to force me within a conversation that I did not want to have. Understand that the left ear may hear, but the right ear hears something else. When you say good morning, watch. I can decode what you're saying in communication. You said good, G-O-O-D, and mourn, need. I need you to take one O, right, out of good. What do you get? God mourning. It is a question. It is not a greeting. Is God mourning? Are you mourning God? I wanted to know, because if you are, I can bring your conscience to my will. Thank you. The left side of the mind hears one way, but the right side of the brain knows another way. The manipulation tactics don't work upon this conscious. I'm just watching so I can get to know. Okay? Now pay attention. She sells him an illusion. He's nasty, he's rude, right? The man obeys. He becomes angry, just like her. How is it that if he's more emotionally intelligent than you, she changed the emotional setting of how he views the next character? How isn't he controlling himself if you manipulated him and told him he's nasty, he's rude, but he never seen the action of me being nasty and rude? How am I being nasty and rude if I never back it with action? My actions is simply, I'm not saying anything. I'm not looking at you. I'm not interacting with you. So the things of what you just said was never backed with action. You interpret it as a lie, but then that lets me know how the technology of consciousness interprets things as a lie. If you say that someone is rude, yes, that is a word, but all words are backed with the action. If I don't interact with you, what actions were rude? I'm just showing you how you can manipulate him and use him to your will, because you're a little bit more psychological than him. But notice that the tactics can't work on me, right? Pay attention. Now, I don't say anything to her the first day, right? And I see that she infiltrated man's conscious, because man can be infiltrated by a woman. That's a great skill set that you have. I wouldn't tell you not to use it, okay? Now what happens is, the next day, she tries to speak to me, right? I say nothing. The next day, she tries to speak to me. I say nothing. The next day, she tries to speak to me. I say nothing. Can I ask you a question? If I was to do that to you as a woman, isn't that harassment? Mm. Now, before you take a job, right, they give you in video and communication what harassment is. That's not a form of harassing someone, is it? If I come to you every day and keep speaking to you, and you're totally not interacting with me for your own personal reasons of what you know about me, wouldn't I be harassing you within communication? I'm trying to force you to say something to me, but I did not accept the harassment. Do you know why? I never opened up my conscience to have a conversation within harassment. So your harassment doesn't work. I don't interact. What I only interact with was the machine. That's it. Good day. When you say no, it's not, what do you speak about? You got to direct your reply because I'm not going to go with assumption, but what you're saying is I'll let it play. So you're saying when you're the comment that you said, it's not okay, like no, it's not rude, right? So are you saying I'm not being rude or her? Let's see. No, hold on. You hold on. Your second part that you lead it off with, you said it's not rude or harassment, right? So she's not harassing me. I just want to clarify. That's all. The thing was that you had to understand, and this may make you upset, right? I'm asking you a question, right? And it's a simple question, right? But it looked like you may be speaking about other things. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? So I'm gonna go back to your first comment real quick, and then I'm gonna move on to something else. You said, okay, there you go. My bad, I must have read over it. You said, yeah, you're not being rude if you don't want to talk. Okay. Granted, let's go over here. Can I ask you a question? The actions of what she's doing within her communication setting, is that harassment? That's all I want to know. I just want to clarify. Oh, slow down. Pay attention. Hold on. Slow down. You're what I'm showing you right now, you're able to do this, but this is when the communication breaks off. My question, right, was simple because I'm seeking clarity. That's it. You don't have to answer the question, but I want to show you something. My question was, within her communication setting, right, okay, is she harassing me? That's it. But pay attention. Right now, what you're doing that you can do is you're bypassing my question. You can do that, but then the communication shuts off. I cannot accept that. Because if I allow you to do that, then I'm only allowing you to bypass the clarity of what I'm seeking. Okay? Just to let you be aware. All right? All right. Okay. No, we good. We good. No, we got it. We got it. It's okay. It's okay. I see what's going on. I already knew this already. Okay. I just wanted to play out. No. It's not that you don't understand. We all understand consciously. If you pay attention, if I'm in the mall, this is the scenario, okay? The scene, right, is the mall. The scenario, right, is I want to communicate with a woman. The characters is man and woman, right? That's the popular pick, okay? Pay attention to the setups. If I walk up to a woman, right, and I say, hey, how you doing, right? Pay attention, because he's going to throw it right in front of you, okay? He didn't need her to answer yes or no. He knows. Watch. Let's say I go to a mall, right? This is a woman. You would say I'm a man. Pay attention. You have other people around you watching the interactions between the both of us, okay? What happens is I acknowledge her beauty, right? Her beauty is attracting me, right? Now I'll walk up to her, right? And I say to her, hey, how you doing today? And then I'll lead it off with further conversation. What happens if she doesn't look up at me? She doesn't communicate with me. Right. What happens? What am I doing now? She's not saying anything, nor is she looking at me. To me, she's not being rude. This may not be her preference. Thank you. So if I keep on communicating with her and everyone is looking at me, still communicating, and she's not saying anything back, every round around that moment, it's going to say, nah, you're harassing her. You're harassing her. She's not communicating with you at all, nor is she acknowledging you. So pay attention to the setup. When it comes towards her, right, it is harassment. But when it comes towards him, there is no harassment. You can't bypass the question because I already know the answer. Okay? Moving on. Everyone understands in this world what was exposed is that men are supposed to be harassed by her. It's allowed. It's allowed. But when it comes to her, it's not allowed. Anyone understand if you're in the mall and you speak to a woman repeatedly over and over, everyone is going to be looking at you like, sir, she's not acknowledging you, she's not communicating with you. Just move on. Because they're going to tell you pretty much you're harassing her. Thank you. I know that. That's something that I would never do. Once I communicate with you one time and you don't say nothing, baby, I'm gonna walk away. Because everybody else is watching. Law enforcement is going to tell you, yeah, you're pretty much harassing. You're damn near about to break the law. But when it comes towards her, what she's telling you is that, in other words, you're supposed to accept this. No. Moving on. You're welcome. Um, what is that? I know she's like, how did he just bypass her intelligence without her giving him the answer? One of the skill sets that you want to understand with her, never expect her to tell you the truth. Never. Always know the truth for yourself. When you come to her and ask her a question, you already know the truth. You just want to see if her mind is going to work with a lie or the truth of herself. Do you understand? All right. Now, they say, I really appreciate that you have clarified this. You're welcome. Stop. Slow. Pay attention to her mindset. Let me show you something. Within controlment. Watch. The first thing you lead it off with, men need to get up. Pay attention what you're saying so you can understand yourself. That's controlment. You're telling him he needs to do something. He can disobey your communication or order. Pay attention when you're commanding. Right. You should only command within your own mind. Pay attention to the setup, predictable programming. Let's just say you see a guy, right? Let's say you're attracted to him. It can be based on intelligence. It can be based on his attire. It can be based on who he is. Predictable programming. Watch. You will automatically assume, right, that he should pursue you. That means you have no inner dialogue in order to pursue him. You have expectation. For me, I would not play with you. You have expectation. You revealed. You said that he needs to expectation. I don't have expectations about you. Our minds would not be aligned in that present moment. The reason why that is, you have expectation in your mind, and I have no expectation in my mind. Our minds would not be aligned in that moment. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. You say women, right? But consciousness is at the top, okay? One time there was a woman named Shaquana, right? Beautiful woman, right? Shaquana, how she moves outside the third dimensional character or characteristics. Pay attention to the setup. I was recently at a job interview at an airport, right? I only came there to understand the experience of where I was at, okay? Pay attention to the setup. What happens is she can view me. She understands he's something. I can see that. Pay attention to the setup. She comes out her third dimensional program that you can never do. You could never do this. This is what I know you cannot do. Okay? She says to me, she acknowledged me by putting her attention on me. She says to me, how you doing, handsome? You look very nice today. That is something that you cannot do. The reason why that is, your mind, right, is focused on, is he going to deny me? That's something you cannot do. She's not a third dimensional character. She doesn't operate with thoughts. She operates with what? Herself. Now pay attention to the setup. I turn around, right? I put my attention back on her and I tell her, oh, thank you. Matter of fact, more importantly, I just want to let you know, you are really operating with yourself and you have a lot of self-confidence. I accept that from you because it is a reflection of what's within me. This is what you can't do as a woman. I know you can't. You cannot do that. Your mind is preset to the third dimensional character. Trapped. Now, what happens is this. I simply tell her, right, you want to, connect, stuff like that. And it leads into what? What we both want, which is connection. I'm operating as myself. She is operating as herself too. Here go my phone number. You can communicate with me there as well. Good day. That's not a setting that you can ever master. That's what I know about you when you're locked down to the third dimension of consciousness. You understand that? Good day. Let's read the comment. Someone said, projections. Someone said their ex-wife was so seriously deranged and abusive. Okay. But the individual went to jail every time she cried. Manipulation, understand. Individual said to themselves, did those things? Absolutely not. Okay, I don't know what that means. The individual said that they would never be that way to a woman. It's actually scary. How easy. Clarify what you're talking about. We understand the first part when it came to you talking about her and the deranged and being abusive setups. How is it that she can be deranged or abusive if you accept it? Watch the second setup. You're waiting for a change. Change is not something you wait upon. When you go to the red lights, it changes into a green light. When you go to the yellow lights, it changes into a red light, which means in reality, if you're going to change, it will only be in the now. It wouldn't be within the manipulation of years. Are you aware of that? It's in front of you. We're going to do something for you real quick. I'm not going to read your comment because you're leading it off with, I'm not trying to be rude. Right. So we're not going to read that. We already know what that is. That's predictable programming. The understanding that you want to seek is within yourself. I cannot give you further understanding because you're not operating with yourself. You're operating with your third dimensional self. Okay? Operate with yourself, and yourself will give you further clarity. Remember, you're a woman. You would think I'm a man. In this third dimensional world, you have told us all, I am not the teacher of you. Do you understand that? Great day. I hear you. You said that she's your ex. To be clear, I get you. You said you made the change. What is the change? Clarify. 4106, your comment, and I will get back to you, Mike, in just a second. Clarify with yourself what the change is. Clarify with that, and then come with that intelligence, and then we can understand. 4106, you said you are right? You said the legal system is stacked one direction. I understand that. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. When you say that the legal system is stacked one way, right? I agree with you. But if you know that, why would you go with it? Pay attention. Let's go into the world of marriage. I'm not going to disagree with people and say you should not get married. But let's understand the laws, right, that's within marriage. Pay attention to the setup. That way you can understand the power exchange within marriage. Pay attention. When you walk up to the bride as the groom, right, you don't understand you're the groom that's supposed to groom her, which means that technically you are the teacher towards her. You understand that, for one? Pay attention. The bride, the bribe. The bride, the bribe. Pay attention to what you're doing in reality. You get down on one knee. When you get down on one knee, you're submitting towards her. That's what you have to understand, for one. You place a ring upon her finger, which means that you are giving 50% of your power from yourself now to her. You're empowering her within her world of marriage. Okay? Now, once you empower her, she has decisions that she can make with you or against you. You're only seeking, let's say, you all, how can I say this in the best way for him? You all have sexual experiences, just you two. Pay attention. The woman will interpret it as, you only get it from me. So, being that you empowered me, I can give it to you when I want to, not when you want it. That's what you accepted. That's why she's able to use your sexuality against you. You submitted to her and her rulership. So she's able to do that because you accepted it. I'm just watching. Okay, let's go right here. My guy has answer. Here we go. Whew. Godly. Let's get some right here. Here we go. Okay. Right? And the change was you leaving her the last time for your safety, your protection. Okay. Okay. Can I ask you a question? After you went through the experience of what you went through put you in the know of the change. The change that's in your mind is that you would never accept someone like that. That's why you walked away. You're not in acceptance of being mistreated or manipulated. That's the change. You understand? So, in other words, she actually helped you. You may not look at it as such, but basically, what she taught you is this is not what you're supposed to accept. That's the reason why she does it. You understand? All right. Now, I want to show you something, women, real quick, so you can be careful. Now, you see that comment right there, right? Men always fall into my setup every time. Pay attention to the technology of his mind. His mind is holding on to a G word. Every word has an action behind it. This individual is revealing those are the actions that's within his mind. Didn't I say that earlier? And it plays in front of you. Be very careful, women. Okay? So, that's the word he holds. But there's also actions behind it that his mind holds. The memory bank of the mind has been infiltrated. So, I guess this is what all men hold. Thank you for exposing yourselves. Great day, sir. You may seek, how can I say, clarity from your mother, right? But first, you will want to seek clarity with yourself. You are first, right? Your mother opinion would be second. Seek for clarity with your mind and your brain. You would never have to seek clarity from others. Give me a second. Let's go into another conversation inside the comments. Now this is funny right here. She said, I'm not trying to be rude, right? All right. The thing is, you're not being rude to me, but you can be rude with yourself. I'm just watching the interaction that the technology of your memory bank holds. Your action is already preset here. The body is just obeying the actions of the mind and playing it out secondly. I'm just watching. It's about yourself. It has nothing to do with me. When you are in first person, you would think everything is about me. Right. But I know that in the inside, everything's about this up here first. I'm just watching. You don't have to send me love. Right. Love starts within yourself. There you go. We have 13 on 13, connect and emerge, B and B. Thank you. Slow down. Pay attention. Individual said that, right? He said that a woman justifies whatever they do, and they will ruin families just because they think they are right. Slow. Let's pay attention. Let's say you were having an experience with a woman, right? Before it leads into a relationship, it would start off as friendship. When it starts off as friendship, the red flags are drawn in front of you. Everything that you want to know about her will be drawn in front of you. So let me ask you a question. Is it that you accepted it within a friendship? Right. Then it leaded into a relationship. Right. Now it leads into a family. But the ruining started from the very beginning, based upon you and acceptance of here. That would have never played out if you did not ignore the information and data that yourself is showing you. Understand, right? She does not have to be accountable to herself. That is her option. That is her free will. That is not something that you should expect her to do. If she does not connect with herself and show you that, then that is something that you should not connect with. she's going to show you everything about herself. Do you understand that? She wants to use you. Okay? And the only way that plays out is if you're in acceptance of it. The minute a woman shows me how she operates with herself, within the inside, within the memory bank of her mind, it lets me know the decisions that I need to make. You understand? Good day. Now, let's get into something. Women, I need you to back out this conversation. Women, just being honest with you, I would need you to back out this conversation. Okay? Someone is talking about the word cheating. As a woman, she could never understand. She has to understand this with herself first. Let me show you. I will use myself as a prime example. This conversation will force her out. Watch. When it comes to cheating, the technology of her consciousness is designed to say, you should not cheat upon me. I understand what she says. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something. When it comes to you as a man, right? I've told women to leave out this conversation. This is not the conversation you will ever understand. It's a conversation with your internal self, okay? Okay, so let's get into this. When it comes to cheating, right? Let's pay attention to something. Outside of law, outside of marriage, right? If you're just in a relationship, if I cheat on her, can I go to jail? I'm gonna say that one more time. Let's say I'm with a woman, right? That's what you call her, right? And I decide to do what you say, which is cheating. That's what you say I'm doing. Not saying that I accept what you're saying that I'm doing, but you say I'm cheating on her. Can she call 911 and they place me inside of a cell? We all can agree collectively, no. So, no law is actually broken. If no laws are broken, then how is my actions wrong? Let's get into it a little bit more further. Let's just say I'm with a woman. Let's just say I tell her, hey, listen, in order for us to be together, I need you to change this and change this. What am I doing? I'm teaching her how to be her higher self of what I would accept from her. You understand? Now, let's just say another woman comes along, right? And based on what I requested from myself and what I want to experience, this other woman shows me she has those characteristics. Am I supposed to stay with her, or am I supposed to move along and go with the updates of what I requested? I'm showing you something that she does too. I just farted. That's what you heard. He really doesn't give a fuck. I know. It's a natural bowel movement. We all do it. Want me to say that one more time for you? You probably just caught the fart part, right? The negativity part, right? I get it. It's all good. That's how the conscious works, okay? I understand. Again, for women, they cannot get this. The third dimensional character will keep their trap. Thank you. Pay attention, sir. Let's just say you have a woman. You tell the woman, hey, I will want you to change in this area and this area. What you are doing is showing a higher form to herself. What you are doing, you want to see if she's going to accept the higher form of herself. You are the balancer, okay? This is why you possess the X chromosome and Y chromosome. You understand that? Now watch. Let's say you request. Let's say she disobeyed with herself. Granted. Let's say another woman come through and she shows you those same characteristics of what you requested for. Do you stay with the downgrade or do you go with the upgrade? Sir, I'm going to answer for you. I'm going with the upgrade. She can stay downgraded. You understand that? So how is it cheating? Okay. I don't accept the word cheating. That's a construct. But if you pay attention to the actions of what people are doing, someone could be requesting for you to be your higher self in order for us to remain together. If you ignore your higher self, guess what happens? He's not going to stay with your lower self. He will move upon. He will move. Do you understand that? That's not something that she can understand. These are updates that she can't understand with herself. You understand that? All right. Good day. You didn't have to retrack your message either. Yeah. However you feel about yourself is how you feel. That's on you. That has nothing to do with me. The experiences that you think you're attaching who you are towards me. No. That's a belief system. That's the reality that you live in. The question that you ask is something that you live into. That has nothing to do with me. Pay attention to the setup. You said love is a choice. The word love is inside the same word of evolve. So does the love evolve or does it remain the same? Pay attention to the setup so you can understand when it comes to what you're experiencing with. When it comes to Mother Nature, this is a prime example, right? Even if I'm upset and I walk outside, Mother Nature is going to provide me with air. You understand that? Her love is unconditional. Do you understand that? If her love was conditional, like us today, because that's the way we operate, we will lie and say, no, my love is unconditional. That's a lie. Your love has conditions on it. Mother Nature love has no conditions on it. I'm going to give you the information data of air so you can breathe every day. Have the human's conscious obtained that? No, it would never will. So, the love system that we live into is a conditional system. It's not real love. That's what you cannot do. As a human, you could never do that. I know. Another thing that I want to say to you, 1/7 117, you have a consciousness where you like to twist things, right? And that shows a lot about your character as well, even within questioning. You like to intertwine two different things together that don't play out. What you're saying is he wants to have his cake and eat it too. But the thing is, as a woman, that is something that you practice as well. Oh, no, no, no. Don't put the blame on yourself. Stay right there. Put all the blame on him. Okay. Moving along. We all know that consciously, let's just be honest, within women's nature, right? You would accept the lower form of himself, right? All the flaws and everything, because it comes down to what? Controlment. You would not get with something that's better, the guy, the one. The reason why you would not do that, because you have no ground in order to control the technology of the mind. Women that are in the third dimensional box, right? You operate within controlment. That's not something that you can break out of. I know. You would never break out of that. Don't prove it to me. Prove it to yourself. That is something that you could never break out of. I know that. It is a trap that keeps you trapped, but the trap works. Okay? The reason why I know that, consciously, you all are connected. The minute I come in contact with a woman, it leads into controlment. That's when I back out. This is the reason why I'm single just with myself for now until something else plays out. You cannot operate with me without it. Your mind is constructed to that. And you know what that lets me know? I escape you every time. Good day. A woman can never break out of that. I know. Especially if he's highly intelligent, that's the only way you can operate with him. You need some type of ground in his conscious to control. It makes you feel as though like you're empowered. That means that you value the power within him more than you value the power that's within you. Do you understand that? So there's no value in that. For you, it is value. For him, there is no value. You understand? It's just as much as you would say, which is a belief system, you control, right, sexual experiences. That's a belief system. That doesn't mean that it's actually true. That's something that I can use to keep your mind locked down to in order for you to think you have power. In our reality, you don't. When minds that are connected operate in connection, not controlment, the experiences that you have together would never be controlled. It will only come down to connection. You cannot understand that because you did not let go of being within controlment in order to understand and usher something else within your consciousness of connection. Okay? Good day. That's what keeps your mind trapped. The way you're wording it, you may have to ask yourself that. If you notice what I keep doing to you is that you keep seeking for clarity within me. You're supposed to clarify everything with yourself. What you're showing me is that you're not clarifying things with yourself, so I cannot clarify with you first. Stop. You have to accept the clarity and the connection of self first before you accept clarity or connection with me. Do you understand that? Thank you. Have a good day. The no is for your own interpretation, sir. Please don't share that with me. He doesn't understand what you understand. Exactly. I get it. You're looking for clarity from me. No. I'm looking at you like, do you have clarity with yourself first? And if you don't have that, then you can't understand the clarity of what I'm doing. You can't. We are taught to, right? Clarity from you, right? No. It's clarity with yourself. How do you know it's clarity if everything that I tell you to do, right? How would you know if it's controlment? How would you know the difference? Once I speak to you and say, hey, look, I would like for you to do this and this, you're going to take in the communication of what I want, right? But what makes you say, I agree, I'm going to do that? What made you do that? Is it me or is it you? No, hold on, stop, slow down. No, no, watch. Let me ask you a question. When you ask another question from another conscious, right? And let's say I give you clarity, right? Do you, right, allow yourself to take in the clarity and now clarify with yourself, right, if it's the right decision to make? I don't want you to be a follower to me. That's what you believe into. I will only want you to be the follower to yourself. Thank you. I think you think I operate within manality. But what's being proven to you, slow down, what's being proven to you is that we can communicate, right? But what I request with you is something that you clarify with yourself in order to make your own self action. Do you understand that? I'm not the one that controls you. I don't want you for that. I only want you if you're in connection with yourself. That's it. And if you can't understand that yet, right, then you will go through further experience so you can understand that. Just like me saying, hey, could you make me a glass of water? Right. What you're going to interpret is, okay, he want a glass of water. He probably is asking that because he's probably thirsty. You just clarified with yourself. Did you realize that? That's the reason why you made that decision. Mine was just requesting, I need a glass of water. But your further knowing or interpretation would be, hey, he's asking for that water because he's thirsty. Do you understand that? It's like me saying to you, hey, I need a bandage and some Neosporin. Your interpretation with yourself in front of you is, he probably needs that because he hurt himself. Thank you. It's playing in front of you, but you're not listening to the voice that's within. You're only paying attention to my voice. That's when I would stop you and I would just go get it myself. I wouldn't even allow you to get it because you're not understanding the voice that's within you to give you further clarity to say, hey, he needs that because he probably hurt himself. That's the voice that's in you. I want you to listen to that. We connect, yes, but ultimately you have your own self voice, your own self interpretation. I don't want to control that. Now you see. Okay. Let's go up here real quick. I felt like that was a great, what he just said. He said, men that follow a woman's logic will lose his strength. He's right about that. Pay attention. Jimmy said, logic versus emotion. Logic and emotion. Watch. You do have logic. You do have emotions. But pay attention. Is being emotionally intelligent, is that logic as well? See, we may look at it like you have logic versus emotions. But there's emotional intelligence within your emotions. You want to understand, or for some, understand the intelligence within your emotions. It would further update your logic. They're one and the same, but we more operate with separation. And separation is nothing more than an illusion. Pay attention to the setup. The setup is that you project I'm a man. The setup is that you project that she's a woman. That is separation. What connects you within the inside destroys the belief system that's on the outside. What connects us is this. You have possession of two double X chromosomes. I have possession of the X and Y chromosome. You are feminine divine. I am divine masculine. The divineness within us both is what brings in the connection. It's not the words. It's what's within. Or we can play with our minds and play what's on the outside. But we will never have a true connection based on what's in the inside. I don't want you as her. I would more adore you as yourself. Maybe you can't understand that just yet, but you will one day. You as well. Enjoy your experience.